Hi sir, I'm Sakshi and I'm along with my group mate Shantanu Mishra and we are here to present our intern project on smart contracts. Smart contracts is basically a program that runs on Ethereum blockchain, and it is a collection of codes and data that resides on a specific address on Ethereum blockchain. The term was firstly coined by Nick Zavos in 1990s. He referred it into a sentence, which was a set of promises specified in digital form, including protocols within which the parties perform on their promises. So, as already iterated, that smart contract is a Ethereum account, and which means it runs on a balance and it has a target of transactions. Moving forward, smart contracts digitalizes agreements by turning their terms of agreement into computer code that automatically executes the contract when the terms are met. It is a computer program that directly and automatically controls the transfer of digital assets between the parties under certain conditions. And lastly, smart contracts are programs that execute exactly as they are set up or programmed by the creators. So now over to Shantanu.
So thanks, Sakshi. This is what she has told about what is smart contracts. Now, the why is the need of the smart contracts? What makes smart contract different from the e-contracts and the traditional contracts? So the first one is the accuracy. Smart contracts are accurate to the limit a program has accurately coded from the execution. All smart contracts are the pre-approved from the authorities. So this increases the accuracy. There is no chance of the any there is no chance of the fault in the contracts. Like automation, it can automate the task process that are done manually. As I mentioned, these are the pre-approved. The speed. The smart contracts are works very fast as compared to traditional and e-contracts, as they are pre-approved, so there is no need for the approval from the other parties, and as any party is done their task, the other party will automatically proceed the further task. So it speeds the overall steps involved in that operations. The backup, like there is a chance of in the case of traditional contract we may lose our papers. In the e-contracts there is chances of that we lose, or there is any hacker hack the system, because of which it can change, or it can damage the traditional or e-contract. Whether in the case of the smart contract, such case cannot be arise, and if any case such arises, the backup at the network is the connection of the all the nodes, and the backup at each nodes is the is will be remain. And if any such condition arises, if that blockchain get damages, or any interventions happen, so we can back our data from that node. Next, so this backup clearly tells the security. What kind of security is provided by the smart contracts? Like the security which is currently from the blockchain and the smart contracts provided is undoubtable the best at any cost. And next, the savings, as the smart contracts eliminates the number of third parties, so it create automatic financials, it create automatically financials, which suddenly we can say the savings from which maybe we which maybe we give to third parties in the case of traditional and e-contracts. Next, it manages the information at their extreme, as users agreement to store information about an application like domain registration, membership record, etc., and the multi-signature accounts. Smart contracts support multi-signature accounts to distribute funds as soon as all the parties involved confirming the agreement. These are the some of the reasons that's why the smart contract we require, and what will be its future implications, and all will be tell in the further. Next, I would like to invite Sakshi to proceed further.
Thank you, Shantanu. So moving ahead with the features of smart contracts, it is distributed in nature. So basically, smart contracts is replicated and distributed by all the nodes connected to the network. It is deterministic, it is immutable, and it has an autonomy. Immutability is the most peculiar characteristic, and the limitations also will further see. Once it means that once deployed, smart contracts cannot be changed. It can only be removed as long as the functionality is implemented. And further, as I told, that parties to the smart contracts enjoy autonomy. There are no intermediaries involved, and so this minimizes the bullying and grants full authority to the dealing parties. It is transparent in nature, as smart contracts always stored on a publicly distributed ledger called blockchain, due to which the code is visible to everybody, whether or not they are party to the contract. And it is actually very truthless. There is no need to verify the integrity of the process or to check whether the conditions are met or not. And as I already mentioned, that once the terms of the contracts are met, the contract is already enforceable. So it is self-enforcing by nature. And now over to Shantanu.
Okay, so thanks, Ashi. Here, till now we have what is smart contracts, why there is need, what are the key features. Now, how that smart contracts work, what is the functioning of that. Firstly, these are the digital contract as it has mentioned. So it has details and permissions in the code that require an exact sequence of events to take place to trigger the agreements of the terms mentioned in the smart contract. It includes a time constraint because of the deadlines. Every smart contract has its address in the blockchain. So the contract can be interacted with by using its address, presuming the contract has been broadcasted on the network. Like as these are the number of parties are involved, time constraint is there. Every party has to done their task. Then the further task will be further implemented. So what is the coding language? What is the code running behind them? So in the programming language, we say that if then program. The basic main idea of this language of this smart contract is the if then program. So how it works? Firstly, if you send for example, if we say for an if you send an object, then then this sum may be the money or the cryptocurrency or any financial transaction or any which you have which you have dealt in that contract, which you have dealt for that. So will be transferred to you. Then if you transfer a certain amount of digital asset, for example Bitcoin, then the object will be transferred to you. Otherwise, or what we say, if you do such any task, then next task will be performed. So this is the main idea of the how they work. If then, like if you do such work, then only the further proceeding will be done. For or basic or go into the deep, like if any company done any task, firstly it identifies under what agreement that company done their work. Are the conditions that satisfied by the produce that company or that partner? Then what is the code? What is the business? What is the reason for they have come that the computer program is written? Then the blockchain technology works. At every node, that information will be provided. At then check if that such condition satisfied. Then the next task will be done. The task will be the task of the blockchain. Then, if all the conditions are satisfied, then the execution and processing. Then, as soon as possible, the processing has been done. This will be updated in all the nodes of the blockchain. Next, how we have and how the functioning of the smart contracts. This leads to what are the advantages of the smart contract. First is record keeping. At each node we have the data, so at each node we have the records. Autonomy, they are direct dealings between the parties, no inclusion of the third parties. Scalability, Smart contracts can handle large volume of transactions simultaneously, making them scalable for the variable applications. Next, reduce fraud, as there is no third party involvement. As the any task done in the network, it immediately transfer, or it immediately update. So there is no chance of the fraud. Negative fault tolerance, since there is a if then program. So if at any point there is if there is any chances of the fraud, what happened is like, at that node at that node, the fraud has been happened, so it cannot proceed further. Why? That if because of their programming language, if and then task. So if that task is happened, then only the next task will be happen. So if any such case, any such scenario arises, so there is a high chances it cannot transfer to the further. Less in hand trust. Every business runs on their trust. So and because of the blockchain, because of the if then programming language, because of the every nodes getting the information at simultaneously, when all the nodes are accepting. So this enhance clearly the trust. Next, the cost efficiency, because of the removal of the third parties, less interventions of the others, and because of the automation, there is a less cost, there is a less cost involvement in between. And next, global accessibility, everyone can access this smart contracts, only the what they require, the net connectivity, the network, and he or she can manage data operations through any place of the world. Next is the what are the applications, which will be further described by Sakshi.
So we have come this far, and so far we have already discussed about the features, the advantages, and how the smart contracts work and everything. So now look, now just let's have a glance on the application of smart contracts, where it can be applied in the real world. So it can be used in the sector of insurance. Smart contracts can help facilitate insurance claims processing and automate policy payouts and reduce cost for insurance providers and policyholders. It can be used in supply chain processes. So with smart contracts, the supply chain participants can automate inventory management, order processing, and payment settlement processes, improving the efficiency, accuracy, and reducing the fraud. So yeah, smart contracts can also be used in real estate. So, there it can help in streamlining the transaction process by automating the property transfer, title transfer, and contract execution, thereby reducing the time and cost involved. At last, it can also be used in IPRs, intellectual property rights. Because it provides secure and transparent management, it will play a crucial role in licensing and royalty payments. Lately, let's look at the challenges involved in smart contracts. So there is no regulations. Because of the lack of international regulations focusing on blockchain technology, like smart contracts, it makes it difficult to keep a hold on it, and it is difficult to implement also, because of very many complexities involved in the whole chain. It actually is very complicated at times. And the one we discussed earlier about immutability. So the challenges involved here is the irreversibility of transactions. Once a transaction is executed within the smart contract, it becomes a part of blockchain's permanent record, and then it may be challenging to undo or rectify without the cooperation of all the parties involved. And another challenge is involved is alignment. Smart contracts can speed the execution of the process that span multiple parties, irrespective of the fact that whether the smart contracts are in alignment with the parties' intention and understanding or not. Now the proposed solutions Shantanu is going to discuss.
So thanks, Sakshi. she has clearly mentioned what are the challenges or limitation at which smart contracts limit itself in compared to traditional contract e-contracts. So some are the proposed solutions. What are they? Like reduce the complications and rigidity involved, as there are the different nodes in the system, different nodes in the blockchain, that network. At any node, there is any kind of intervention or any kind of disturbance, it clearly damages that network. And the complications, the different complications that involve. So there is chances in the future that it may be get not much complicated. Their rigidity may be chances of maybe it get reduced. The manual approval from the higher bodies. Right now, these are the working in the automation. So there is no not taking permission from the higher authorities. And right now there is a role of the blockchain can be very big in the arms dealing. So arms dealing is not a joke for any country. So in that, approval from the higher authority is very mandatory for them. So if that can be if that can be any coding language implied on that, so that will be very beneficial in the future. Establishment of statutory authorities for the regulation. Right now, there is no regulatory who regulates the laws or governs the blockchain. If any interventions happen, which is not in the case of the traditional contract, which is governed by the law of the different countries. So there is a need of the governing body in that who can govern the smart contracts. Next is the conscious mechanism. Right, because of the automation, there is no need, as mentioned. So one is the higher authority permission should be taken. And last, the conscious mechanism. There is a chances of, while transferring the product, second party want to see the product, whether they are right or not, whether they are perfect according to their requirements. So in that case, there is a conscious, they want to see the product, then they want to payment. But right now, what the blockchain, how the smart contract works, if and then, if the payment has been done, then only that consumer get the product. So such condition are the limit where the limit the smart contracts. And these are the suggestions.